Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the presentation titled Wastewater Discharge, a Source of Parasitic Contamination of the Surface Water. We know that wastewater treatment plants, many diseases, parasites are found in this wastewater. And these parasites, they cause diarrhea and anything concerning the stomach is being deposited in the waste, which is in the wastewater treatment plant. And research that was carried out by me and colleagues about 2012-2013 in Hamburg wastewater treatment plant, we found out a lot of parasites in the effluent of the wastewater treatment plant that is being disposed in the river. So it is in this light that a continuous research was carried on. So, as you can see, from the wastewater treatment plant and also from animals that are living there, we have bacteria and metazoa, also protozoa that are inside. So when all these are being disposed in the water, they get the water contaminated. And this water, this surface water that is being contaminated, people come in, some use it for swimming, some of the water is being used for agriculture, some is used to wash vegetables and drinking. And in this case, the people are being contaminated with waterborne disease. So, as we can know, water is considered as the best in the investigation media, and this waterborne disease are the most threatening microorganism, which is, we can see globally, is what is causing a lot of diseases nowadays. And these parasites that are found in wastewater that cause waterborne disease are Cryptosporidium, Giardia, and Intermoeba. So, why do we study this? Why was this research carried out? It was carried out because since the last research that was being carried out in the institute was to check whether the parasites are in the influence of the wastewater that is being disposed in river. And since there was a lot of these parasites, Giardia, Cryptosporidium, in the effluent, so we now carry out a research on the animals that are living in the water, if they could carry this parasite. And as a result, mussels was one of them. Okay. And in this research, we collected mussels because we want to know whether they can be used as a bowel monitoring agent for these parasites. So this, we were looking at the mussels at the point of wastewater discharge near the river, that is the catchment area, and collected mussels that are in that area to examine them. So, overview of this parasite. In this parasite that cause waterborne disease, we have the Cryptosporidium. These are the oocysts, the transmissive form. And we have the Giardia lamblia, we have the Intermoeba histolytica, we have Cyclospora cayi. tendencies and Toxoplasma gondii. And these are all protozoa. These, when they live in the human body, they cause diarrhea, dehydration, weight loss, and abdominal pain. And briefly, I will just describe the life cycle of this parasite. And the life cycle begins from a human being taking a contaminated water or food with oocysts or cysts. So these oocysts, when the human being, when a man or a woman swallow this, in the stomach they undergo a binary fusion, multiply and give birth to trophozoites. And these trophozoites, they become encysted, and they are deposited in the environment, as cysts or oocysts. And in this environment, some are collected in the wastewater because it's waste. And in the course, since the wastewater is being discharged in the river, it contaminates the surface water. And when a man again go to swim, he carries some in the mouth, and through vegetation, watering vegetables like salad, some are also carried, and through food and drinking water as well. And they become cysts which are taken into the stomach. So this research was carried out in an area in Germany, that is the western part of Germany, so where the mussels were being collected. And this part, the mussels were collected from this area and brought to Hamburg for examination. And why do we choose mussels? We choose mussels because mussels can filter large volume of water. And as they take in parasites by ingestion and ingest them. So as they filter large volume of water, then it is very possible to see whether they can have, because when this wastewater is being discharged in the river, the water, they get diluted in the water. But since mussel can filter a large volume of water, so that is why we choose mussel as our study animal. So the investigation scheme, it was divided. The investigation scheme is divided into three parts. We have the sampling, sample processing, and detection. So this is the wastewater. The area where the wastewater is, the catchment area where the wastewater is being discharged, that is the surface water. Mussels were being collected here. These mussels were collected in this area and then taken to the lab, homogenized, that is grinded into fine particles, centrifuge, and then undergo some centrifugation method like sucrose centrifugation. And then we have the purified parasites that were examined through the microscope, and some undergo molecular analysis like polymerase chain reaction and LAM. So from this investigation, the results that we got from the mussels that were collected, we have we use different staining methods. These were Jaja that were positive, that were found in the mussels. They were positive, and using hematoxylin staining. And intermoeba, these are the cysts of the intermoeba, using the same hematoxylin staining. So,
just 5 minutes left. Just 5 minutes to go.
Yeah. Chrysoporidium as well was found we're using the same staining. And we also do the green, the immunofluorescence level staining, and these are what was found in the muzzle. So from these results, we, out of the 97 species of mussel that were collected, we found that 62% were positive for this parasite, and with different species of mussels. That is, the 2 species of mussels that were present in Hamburg, the Corbicula and the Dreissena. So to see, to further examine it, we found that microscopy was having a lot of, we detected a lot of positive parasites through microscopy. So in conclusion, we know that since protozoan parasites, we thought that it was something of the underdeveloped world, but now, and it is almost neglected in this part of the Western world, but we have found that these parasites are present in wastewater treatment plant here. And using mussels, because mussels they live in water, we use it, and these parasites were found in the mussels that were living in the catchment area. This shows that mussels can be used as a biomonitoring agent to detect this protozoan parasite. So thank you for your attention.
Caroline, that was a very enjoyable talk. You were so efficient. We have time for one quick question.
About the speed, I'm not responsible. It's a quick question. You have any linkage to the epidemiological studies? Because according to what we found there, it was interesting. It's really so many oocysts in one muscle or something like this. The numbers so high.
Yes.
So I would expect to express themselves epidemiologically. You look on the data in the hospital.
Yeah, I didn't. It was since these mussels were collected at where the wastewater was being discharged. Just a few, maybe at that point, some 800 meters away, and just at that area. That is why they were highly contaminated.
Yeah, but people are sick.
Sorry?
You have any data on sick people with this parasite contaminated coming to the hospital?
No. Well, I have not. This is just a new research, so I have not gone far to the hospital, but that is still to be taken into consideration.
It's very important, because if you don't find sick people, it has a really major impact on this stuff. But I mean, when many years ago, even now, when I teach about parasites, once it was not that one oocyst is enough to get infected. Now we revised, we did much more than this, 130, 140 oocysts we had to ingest to get sick. So if you find, it's epidemiologically important. How much we have to treat the water? This is what I'm asking you. Because when it was there, it was a forest of Cryptosporidium.
The research we did 2013 on the effluents from the wastewater, we found about 7,000 oocysts per liter.
Per liter?
Yeah.
Wow. This is pure wastewater. I didn't want to say something nasty.
Can you
We
go
will
back
let-
to the map of the place you did the collection? Can you go back?
We'll have to wrap this up in a moment. Just let Elias have one quick word so that if we overrun, he can't blame me.
Thank you, John. So just to know more about these protests, what's the situation? Do you get immunity against them? If you have an infection, you get cured. Do you get an immunity? And
Yes.
there is a specialist in that matter.
The immunity against
Yes, but you can get infected again. It's at the frozen mouth. It's not
yeah.
completely.
And we know that the disease, this waterborne disease, as I said from the beginning, the symptoms of diarrhea, a lot of people are having diarrhea, and sometimes since it is neglected that it could be caused by parasites, they treat diarrhea, they thought it's coming from E. coli and so on.
Because the doctors are not parasitologists. They are from research.
Yeah.
I spoke with them. They are not parasitologists. This is the easiest way to take a sample of fecal material, go under the microscope. You don't need PCR, don't need sequence. You just see, find the host.
Yeah,
But the doctors know.
that is why it's necessary that this research to be extended to the hospital, and because if you are sick of stomach ache or diarrhea, they give you antibiotics, and except they ask you, are you from Africa or you are from, before they can refer you to a parasitology. But these things are very, very common. Very, very common
Okay.
now.
That's why I said,
We'll have to carry on this
Thank
debate
you very
later.
much.
I'd like to thank Caroline. I'll give you a certificate for this talk. I'm going to add to it that you have advanced time management skills as well. Thank you for being on time.